everyone, welcome back to our channel. My name is Diane and I'm very glad that you could be here today. Today is what I've been not sure what to do. Do I talk about this? Do I talk about all the other crazy things that have happened in my life, or do I save this for last? Will there ever be a last of my Sunday mummy rant, mummy whatever it is, every Sunday that I do different things, and I'm sweating. It's warm in here. And I'm nervous. So nervous. I don't know how to talk about this. So this is about the fact that at 47 years old, I had a massive heart attack. And it was bad. And my kids were there. And there's a whole story prior to that, obviously. With some people it happens just one day, they're doing whatever and they just have one. For me, there was a beginning way before it happened, believe it or not. And no, I had no heart problems. There was nothing to indicate this would happen, but there is a story behind how it happened. And that is what I'm going to tell today, because hopefully, and this is why I'm willing to talk about it, why I'm willing to talk about anything I do, there's a reason. And it's because sometimes when you read online and it's so mechanical and so uncaring and so, point by point, it's hard to, I'm warm. It's, you don't really get the what that person or what the situation is with that person. And sometimes I think it's easier to understand. And if I can help one person, save somebody else or save themselves, then I've done exactly what I wanted to when I made this video. I want to help people, and whether it be help people find cheap makeup or help people save themselves, or, this is the hard one for me. There are many others. I think I'm going to make this into more than one video because I don't think I can really do it all at once. So this is what led up to me having a heart attack and the heart attack itself. And I will do a part B video on my rehabilitation and how things went after. So 3 years ago, my husband and I, he went to Kuwait with the military. He went to Kuwait to do assisting, the Canadian military was assisting the American military with their war in Iraq. And with that, my husband, he's a communications person. So he was there assisting with that. I don't know what he did. I have no clue. I probably got it wrong. So all you military wives that know this crap, sorry, I don't. So I'm all sweaty. I'm nervous. I was overweight, and that's another thing. I probably should have talked about that first, but it's almost like everything else I want to talk about is because of this. So I figure I should tell you all about this first and get this out of the way. And it sounds like out of the way. No, not out of the way. It'll make everything else I talk about after this make sense. So I was overweight, and I mean 60 pounds bigger than I am now, maybe 70. And I had been thin my whole life. If you go to our Instagram and look at my wedding photo, I was over 30 in that wedding photo. I had 3 children in that wedding photo. That was my normal size. That was not me losing weight for a wedding. I was small. Always. And I gained a lot of weight through a lot of issues. I quit smoking. See, told you that would all lead. And just everything. Stress. We moved to a place that I was unhappy. And nevertheless, I got really depressed. I got really sad, and I gained a lot of weight. And I wasn't feeling good, and I started feeling bad. But my husband, I told him, I want to relive. For the last 3 years, I've given up, basically. I feel like I've given up on life. I've given up on everything. So we decided that from Kuwait, instead of coming home, he would fly to England. I would fly to England, and we would do, because I've never been anywhere. Up until that point, I've been to the United States and Canada. That's it. So we decided that this would finally be me being able to travel to do something, because I know you guys think that now I've traveled all over. 3 years ago, I had never been anywhere. So, yes, we're going to do this. We're going to have our European honeymoon because we never had one. We got married with 3 kids. You don't get to do honeymoons and all of that. So that was our honeymoon. Many years after we got married, but still, it was our honeymoon. And I met him in England and everything was fine. We had an amazing time in England for a week. Then we took the train to Paris. And I felt kind of weird. Towards the end of Paris, I started feeling weird. Now, I was exhausted and stuff, but you put that all down to being fat. I was over 200 pounds. I was fat. And I'm not going to sugarcoat that. I was way overweight. And some people are confident with that. I was not. I was not happy with that. And I was not healthy like that. I believe that you can be bigger and be healthy. I was not, though. And I was exhausted all the time. And then I started coughing. And I mean coughing like I was dying, like continuously coughing, pneumonia, lung infection, and I couldn't stop. And it was bad. So then we flew from Paris to Rome, and that was our three location honeymoon. By the time we get to Rome, I'm sick. I thought it was the flu. We're in Rome, and I'm like, to these pharmacists, I'm like, right? I'm trying to tell them I made cough medicine. It was terrible because we didn't know how to say it, and the books were not working, and we had these translator things, and yeah, it was terrible. But finally, we figured it out. We got what we wanted, and it wasn't working, like, at all. And I'm like, why am I coughing so freaking much? Like, bad. I can't even explain to you. I've like tuberculosis type coughing. If you've ever seen a movie or heard how worse than pneumonia, like I just coughed and coughed and coughed, and it was awful, and it hurt, and I couldn't catch my breath. So obviously you can imagine my trip to Rome was not great. I got to see a few things, but I felt sick the entire trip. I felt bad. So after that, my husband would be flying back to Kuwait, and I accidentally booked my ticket to Istanbul. And I knew that. I thought I was going to fly to Istanbul from Rome, have a 2-hour layover, and then fly back to Toronto. It was a 2-day layover. No wonder the ticket was so cheap. 2-day layover. So I have to stay in Istanbul for 2 days, Istanbul, Turkey. So for me, I get an extra holiday. I get to go to Istanbul, which is wonderful. So I go to Turkey, and I'm really not feeling good, but I'm not coughing. I'm not coughing hardly, but my chest hurts. So I'm coughing a little, but mostly my chest hurts. And it comes and goes, and it doesn't feel good. Indigestion, lots of flying, whatever. But I'm feeling better, so I'm like, cough medicine's working. Nice, nice, nice. I go around Istanbul by myself. I have an amazing time. It's my favorite place I've ever been. It's stunning and beautiful and historical and cultural, and I had an amazing time there. But that is a story for another time. That night when I lied down, my chest really hurt, and it hurt bad. And I'm like, oh, this sucks. This is really bad indigestion. As an overweight person, I had that a lot. I had a lot of issues with my stomach and so on. So I'm like, I text my son at the hotel the night before I'm leaving. I'm like, dude, you're going to have to take me to the hospital when I get home. I do not feel good. My chest hurts so bad. So I get to the airport, and we have to go through like 7 or 8 security, not exaggerating, just to get on the airplane, because you have to go, they check you, then you go through another time, they check you, then you go through another time, and that takes you to where you're going to sit down in a very thing. And then you got to go through security again to go out on this bus to get to the plane. Then you got to go through security again to get on the plane. It's crazy. It's good, but it's crazy. Well, while I was standing on that bus that takes you out to the plane, I got dizzy, really dizzy, and almost passed out. And I'm thinking, oh, great. That's all I need, to be stuck in Istanbul in the hospital by myself. No kids, no husband, no nothing. You know, my kids are fine at home. I have adult children. My youngest was 12. Um, no, he was 11. So my youngest was 11, 13. No, it was 12. 12, 15. So this was 2 years ago. That's part of the problem. I don't have good memory. So nevertheless, I felt sick, but I got on the plane and I faked it. I felt dizzy the entire time. And the poor man next to me, because we sat just the two of us, there was the middle section and whatever, but turned out that there was only two of us in our 3 seats. We didn't have a third person. And he was worried about me. And when we got off the plane, he goes, he's like, took my baggage, took everything that I was carrying and carried it for me. I guess I looked really sick. And we get to Toronto and I'm telling my son, I don't feel good. Like my chest hurts and I feel dizzy and I don't feel good. And I go, I need to go to the hospital. But I think I can wait till tomorrow. It hasn't gotten worse. So chest is hurting. I'm feeling dizzy. Then the next day, my arm starts hurting. My arm and my jaw right here. And just pain in my arm. Almost felt like it did when I broke my arm. And I'm like, that is whack. And then I'm like, hey, don't you get chest pain, arm pain, jaw pain from a heart attack? Because my dad passed away at 47. You see the coincidence there, right? From a heart attack. I'm like, this is not good. And my brother had just had a heart attack because the men in our family have them really young. The women do not. So I'm like, this is bad. Now mine keeps coming and going, the pain. So I go to the doctor. I do go to the doctor the next day, but I don't go to the hospital because I'm dumb. And they check my lungs, they check my heart, they put those sticky doodaddy thingy jiggies on there, and they're like, you're fine. You have pneumonia. Your lungs sound bad. And because I was still coughing, just not like I was in Paris where I was like, I was coughing, but like a normal sickly coughing. And I'm like, are you sure? Because my arm hurts and my jaw hurts. He goes, it's fine. You're fine. I'm like, okay. So they give me a prescription, I spit, for antibiotics, and they send me home. I fill that out. I start taking them. Now, normally when you start taking antibiotics, at least for me, you feel better the next day. A little bit, not a lot more, but a little. I didn't feel better. I felt worse. I'm like, I do not have pneumonia. So I decide that it's time to go to the hospital because, okay, I guess I should tell you that night, the night that I should have felt better that day, well, now we're into the night. So it's basically going into the second day after the doctor. I'm like, I do not feel good. I was throwing up. My chest hurt so bad that I gave my son the phone and told him that if I tell you to call 911, do it fast. And then I in the morning, I said to my oldest, to Mac, I'm like, Mac, you need to take me to the hospital. There's something wrong. Like, this is hurting so bad. Now, it started hurting in Istanbul, but it was getting worse and worse and worse. And I'm pointing because that's where my stairs are. I was sitting at the bottom of the stairs and all my children were there. And I said goodbye to them because at this point, I think I'm going to die. I did. I didn't tell them I thought I was going to die. I just figured I was. And I was certain. I was absolutely certain. And Madison and Mac got in the car, helped me in the car, and they're taking me to the hospital. Well, we get 10 minutes down the road. Hospital's about a half an hour. And I say, call 911. They're like, what? I go, call 911 and tell them to meet us. Because I was going to die. I knew it. Or, it was so bad that and it wasn't stopping and it wasn't coming and going. It was excruciating, unbearably bad, and I'm going to die. And I said, call 911 because I didn't want to die in front of my kids. And now I'm going to cry. So we pulled into, I said I wasn't going to do this. If you're Canadian, you know Tim Hortons. We pulled into a gas station, Tim Hortons there, and the ambulance met us. Because if I'm going to die, I'm not going to die in front of my kids. No. So the ambulance, I get in and they tell the kids whatever, and they check and they're like, "You're fine." I'm like, "What? No, I'm not fine. Trust me, I'm not." And they put these things on me and they're like, "You're fine." I'm like, "No, I'm not." They take me to the hospital, no sirens, no nothing, and I'm dying. I'm positive. Get to the hospital, they take me and they put me in one of those little rooms, and they leave. They come back hour later, hour and a half later, and they take my blood. And meanwhile, I am not feeling better. I am feeling horrible. My kids are there with me, and the younger ones are at school. The oldest one isn't there yet either. And my kids, I'm like, "You guys go. You got to go get the kids. They need dinner. They, need to be picked up," that kind of thing. Or no, they had to go somewhere. That's right, because the kids were still in school. It was pretty early in the day. And, they had to go get my oldest because I have some memory loss, so I don't remember everything. So they left me there, and I told them to. Because the doctor kept telling me I was fine, so now we all think I'm fine. I have indigestion. I have something minor. It didn't feel minor, though. It hurt so bad. And they did blood tests, and about, an hour, doctors come running in, and I mean, like, throwing curtains aside. Stuff is flying everywhere. They're hitting, like, the tables that are in the room. That gets thrown across the room. This stuff is flying. Sheets are flying. I'm like, "Oh my God," and they're scaring the crap out of me. And they are putting aspirin in my mouth. And I'm like, and telling me to take this stuff and put it under my tongue. I'm like, "What is this stuff?" And they're like, it's nitro. And I'm like, "Why?" And they go, "You're having a heart attack." I'm like, "I told you. 3 days ago I told you." And they did, now they're doing tests. They're trying to figure out if there's a reason to have the heart attack. And they found a huge blood clot. Turns out that the flying that I had been doing, the flying to Europe, had caused a blood clot in my leg. And that was why when I was walking around Europe, it hurt so much. My legs hurt. I thought I was because I was fat and overweight and unhealthy and couldn't do activity. Even my husband was yelling at me half the time, "You come all the way to Europe and all you want to do is sit down. This is ridiculous. We paid all this money, And I feel bad for that now. I'm sure he does too. But, it was true. I was, kind of almost seemed lazy. And this blood clot had gone through my legs and into my lung. Coughing. Remember that? Yeah, the coughing. Then, of course, it went to my heart. And it kept moving like this. It kept moving. Now, there was a little blockage in my heart, but nothing that would cause... But there was enough to hold this blood clot there instead of it going to my brain. Normally, that would go through and into the brain, right? My plaque saved my life. The plaque saved my life. There was enough there to hold the blood clot so it couldn't fit through. But it kept moving like this. And that was why there was relief from the pain and why I didn't die. There was still blood going through. So within, I don't know, very quickly, I'm in surgery. They need to get rid of this blood clot and put a stent in because now because they're going to take out the plaque that's there. They may as well. They're in there, right? So I decide, because I am smart, that I'm going to do it without painkillers because painkillers make me throw up. It's the truth. They do. So yeah, it was excruciating, and I don't recommend that to anybody. They went through my groin and up into my heart, and I could feel every freaking thing they did to me, and it sucks. So that I'm going to leave it there, and I know that seems like, what? You're stopping? I have to do a part 2 because it's been 20 minutes, and there's so much. I guess I could do, okay, we'll do, you need to remember something. Here I am. I'm in the hospital, right? I'm having a heart attack. My husband's in Kuwait. He's not there. I have a 12-year-old and a 14-year-old and an 18-year-old, and all of these kids that they may be adults, but they're still my kids. And I don't imagine when your mother's only 47 that you think she's going to have a heart attack. There's nothing to prepare you for that, even if you're 80, I guess. So my husband can't just come home. That's not how that works. He can't just, see ya, I'm getting on a plane, I'm coming home. No. So for however many days we were at home, no, I wasn't home. No. My poor kids had to deal with the fact that I had had a heart attack, which I don't know, I guess I should have had them here. I can't imagine that that's a very good thing to have happen. And I can't imagine how scary they were. And I know my youngest, he didn't deal with it very well at all. 12-year-old little boys' moms don't have heart attacks. Really, ever. And I shouldn't have had one. It was a blood clot. It had nothing to do with an airplane. The airplane sitting down caused a blood clot to form. And, these kids shouldn't have had to deal with that. And like I said, in the next video, I'll get more into the recovery part, the surgical part, all the things that have happened since then. Because like I said, this is going to take a long time, and there's still what I want to talk about, the heart attack part. Because I told you my story now. Okay, now the doctor tells me I have a heart attack, I go into surgery. After obviously investigation, like I said, they come up with, I got a blood clot from the airplane, from air travel. I would have had a stroke, but because I had a little bit of plaque in my heart, it saved my life. No, that's not true. I can't say it saved my life. It caused me not to have a stroke. Instead, I had a heart attack. It was not a minor heart attack, by the way. My heart is extremely damaged to the point where I can't work. And I guess we can get into that. Like I said, the recovery part is secondary. It's separate. It's a totally different story to tell, I guess. I keep wanting to talk about it, but I think what I want to talk about now is signs and symptoms, the ones that I had. You can cough. Especially somebody like me. I had a blood clot. I was coughing. They didn't check for anything. But by the time I went to the doctor, I was having a heart attack. That it had started. And because the blood clot kept moving, it let enough blood flow through the heart that it wasn't preventing me from dying, I guess. I'm warm and I hate getting upset. Anyway, I didn't want to get upset. That's why I wore makeup, so that I wouldn't cry, because I figured it'd go down my face. Okay, yeah, that didn't work. So don't just think that the symptoms are A, Y, Z. Back, chest pain, arm pain, jaw pain. Those are the three main symptoms for men. For men. 47-year-old man, they would have taken him to the hospital. And yes, I'm bitter. And yes, I'm pissed. And yes, I'm angry. Why? I got sent home having a heart attack. My heart wouldn't have been damaged as much. I may not have even had heart damage at that point. But I do now. Why? Because they sent me home. They didn't check for a heart attack. They put the little thing on, oh, your heart sounds fine, because it did. Because the clot kept moving, all the machines said that I was not having a heart attack. As a matter of fact, every machine that the hospital and the doctors have said I was fine, that I had normal blood pressure, normal everything. It was the blood test that came back that I was having a heart attack because of something that happens in whatever in your blood. I don't know. I don't have a clue. But whatever that was how they found out. Then they did ultrasounds and stuff and found the damage and where it was and all of that. So if you feel like you're having a heart attack and you're a woman, sorry, dudes, you guys can listen to this, but this more pertains to women. Do not let them say to you that You're a girl. You're 40. You're 30. You're 60. You're whatever. You're too young. Bullshit. Hello, 47, had a heart attack. Because at the end of the day, I may have been overweight, but I was still healthy. As in, my heart was healthy, my lungs, my liver, my kidney, I was healthy. I just had gained weight only a few years prior. It wasn't like, I was sick for years and years and years, overweight for years and years and years. No, it was, I was still very healthy. So you're a girl, you're fine, everything's fine, your body's fine. No, go to the hospital, insist. They'll take no for an answer. Women can have many different symptoms. We can have pain in our back. I had that too. You can throw up. You can feel nauseous. You can feel dizzy. You can cough. Those are all, even the coughing, because remember I said the coughing stopped as far as me really coughing, but I still kept coughing. That part of the coughing was the heart attack part, because it was in my lung. That's why I was coughing. Then when it moved, you know what I mean? So any of these things can indicate a heart attack, okay? So don't take no for an answer. Don't let them say to you, you're a woman. Nah, you're a girl. You're fine. You're 40. You're whatever. You're a marathon runner. Don't matter. A marathon runner just collapsed during a marathon the other day, a female, and she was in her, 20s or 30s. It can happen. So insist. And when you air travel, this is why I told you guys that I need to do 2 videos, because this is all about this stuff, the pre stuff. Make sure you move your legs. Now I have exercises, move your legs like this. Go like this with your legs. And yes, you may feel stupid if somebody stranger is sitting right next to you. It's better than getting a blood clot and having a stroke or a heart attack, right? I believe one of the presidents or vice presidents of the United States had a blood clot from an airplane and had a heart attack. So it happens. Don't let the hospital tell you something that isn't true. Don't let doctors send you home. Be insistent. Be persistent in telling them no. There's something wrong, because if you think something's wrong with you, you're probably right. Now, yes, it could be heartburn, blah, blah, blah. But trust me, heart attack does not feel like heartburn. It's way worse. Way worse. It's bad. And we need to make sure, because the healthcare system can fail us. It failed me pretty badly, more than once, as a matter of fact. And so we need to make sure that's why I'm doing this video, because I hope that you see this and you realize, okay, first of all, you need to move around because I had a long flight, right? Canada to England is a long flight. That's the problem. It was a long flight and I sat down because I was lazy. Get up, walk around a bit, get up every half an hour, move your legs. Keep yourself active whilst you're sitting down. Don't be embarrassed. Who cares? At the end of the day, it's better than a blood clot. Don't think just because you're young that it can't happen to you, because it can. It did happen to me when I was young, especially as a woman. 40-year-old women just don't have heart attacks. That's just, it's so rare. It's so uncommon. So doctors aren't looking for that, but they should be. If you tell them that your arm hurts and your jaw hurts, they should have taken me to the hospital. Those are classic symptoms for men, for everyone. Those are classic. I actually had the classic symptoms. They should have sent me to the hospital, and they didn't. Don't let them not. You're going to the hospital. I'm having chest pain. You're sending me to the hospital. Send me right now. Call an ambulance. Do it. Don't let them tell you no. Move when you're on the airplane. Do all of those things. And because of all of this, that's why I've been traveling so much. First of all, I needed to get back on a plane. I was terrified. There are some symptoms that have happened after, and we'll get into that later, but just like I said, don't let them tell you that you're wrong, that this is nothing, that because you're a woman, it's nothing. That is not true. It could be something. So if it's your mom and she's telling you, or your dad, that they feel this way, take them seriously. Don't slough it off. My mom's 50. Who? She's just being ridiculous. No, no. Take her to the hospital. Or if you're that woman that feels that, but you're too stubborn like me, go to the hospital. Don't delay. Don't think you can't be you, because it can be you. It was me. It was somebody like you. And it was horrifying. And the worst part, I had a heart attack in front of my children. And they know. They know that I did. And they had to watch me suffer. And, at any moment I could have died. And that to me is the part that I have the most difficult thing dealing with is my little boy, 12-year-old. He started sleeping with me after. He did not deal with this very well at all. And I'm thinking, I know you're thinking he's 12, what the hell? He did not want to be away from me. Freaked him out so bad that he was scared that if I went to sleep and he wasn't there, then something bad would happen and he might need to call 911. Kid slept with a phone. It was bad. So, and that's the other thing, having little children, we need to protect them from, things like that. And I really think that the doctors made a big mistake. Huge, as a matter of fact. They made a life-changing mistake for me. And it can happen. So be careful. If you see somebody, help them. Take first aid. Even if you only take it once. Once is enough. You'll learn, right? Do first aid. My kids did. My husband does. I do. We all do. First aid. Everybody. Do it as a family. Do it as a family thing. Mom, dad, kids all go to first aid and take first aid together. Why not? It can be fun. It can be like, we're going to help somebody maybe someday. And, it can't hurt. It's a good thing. Believe someone when they tell you that they have chest pain, that it might be something, even though it seems like unrealistic. And if you have chest pain, go to the hospital. Don't delay. Don't let them tell you that it's nothing. Make them check everything. Blood test. That's where I'm going. I'm missing something that I need to tell you. Insist on a blood test. That's the part that is the most important part of my whole story. So I'm going to leave it here for now. What I'll do is I'll do a part B, and that will be more into what my surgery was, what happened at the hospital after, the recovery, all the things I had to do after and into the future, and even still to this day. Because like I said, I don't work. There's a reason. That's the reason. My life is forever, ever changed. I'm never going to be the same. My heart never healed. Some people's get better. Mine has not. Mine is not good. So, there's a lot more to talk about, a lot more that we can, but insist on the blood test. Most important advice, move on the airplane. Those are the two things that I can tell you for right now. Do first aid. That's as good as it gets for me right now. So don't forget to like and subscribe, and don't forget about part B. I'm not gonna wait on it. What I'll do is my next video is going to be part B. Yeah. But not instantly. What I'll do is, because I only do these on Sunday, so next Sunday it will be part B. Does that make sense to you? So basically today and then 1 week from today we'll finish my heart attack story. Unfortunately, my heart attack story. I don't even like saying that because I should have never had one. But it is what it is. So till next time, I love you.